Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Martial Universe Season 7 Part 17 based on novel. So let's start. The fuzzy black human figure collided heavily onto the light barrier. Lindong's icy cold eyes vaguely possessed a trace of savageness as he stood before the figure, while green dragon fists that contained a terrifying strength poured down uncontrollably onto the dark black figure like a storm. Bang! 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 Numerous heat-palpitating low thuds sounded out from the figure. Everyone could see the swiftly spreading circular ripples on the light barrier behind the black figure. The current Lindong was exactly like a crazy demon. Mo Ling, Liu Bai, and the rest were also stunned as they watched this scene. Clearly, it was also the first time they had seen this usually calm Lindong acting with such madness. The energy ripples that spread out from Lindong's dragon fists made everyone clearly understand that when the fist landed, even a 5 Yuan Nirvana stage expert's Nirvana golden body would have difficulty enduring. In the face of this storm of punches, any other 5 Yuan Nirvana stage expert would be smashed to a bloody pulp. You bastard! Get lost! Lin Langian's body was practically enveloped by that tremendous power. He could sense a terrifying strength frantically penetrating through the dark figure and eroding towards his real body, as terror surged out from in the depths of his eyes. Those eyes of his were red as he struggled madly. He was aware that if Lindong continued to beat in this crazy manner, even with the martial soul protecting his body, he would still die without a doubt. Lin Langian struggled with all his strength, controlling the black figure to block Lindong's attack. However, the latter's eyes were currently crimson red, and he ignored Lin Langian's furious cries. All he did was to raise his fists in a seemingly numb manner and ruthlessly smashed them down. Heh, you are indeed from the main clan and the most dazzling genius of the Lin clan. Lin Langian, I have already remembered your name since I was very young. Lindong's eyes were crimson and malicious, while frightening fists violently struck downwards. It was as though the grudge that had been suppressed within his heart for many years had completely erupted. You are the first person that I have hated. When I first began my training, my only aim was to kill you and make you pay the price for crippling my father. You awful, how could you know just how my father suffered a fate worse than death because of you? How could you know what kind of price I have paid over the years in order to surpass a genius like you? The thin and weak young man from the small mountain in Qingyang town had sweat an endless amount of perspiration. He had no spirit elixirs, nor did he have any resources or backing. All he could rely on was himself. All he could do was to chase the great genius of the clan in this clumsy and stubborn manner, because he was the only hope of that small family. You have nearly caused me to lose my family. Do you think that I will give you a second chance? The corners of Lindong's mouth parted. His expression was incomparably ferocious, while his eyes were bright red as he stared at Lin Langian. This gaze made the latter's entire heart turn cold. Therefore, hand over your life to me, you trash! Lindong's right hand tightened once again as monstrous green light surged, gathering together into the shape of a dragon's head on his fist. The fist force that suddenly surged out exploded the air. An invisible concave arc was formed below Lindong's fist, before it ruthlessly landed on the black figure. Crack! An unusually deep sound echoed out, as Lin Langian's pupils tightly shrunk. He could hear another cracking sound suddenly appear at this moment. When he violently lowered his head, he saw the martial soul around his body begin to crumble and scatter. His strongest defense had been forcibly destroyed by Lindong. Having lost the protection of the martial soul, how could he block Lindong's terrifying dragon fists? Terror suddenly surged out from Lin Langian's heart like a flood. As he looked towards Lindong's terrifying man-devouring appearance, he knew that Lindong would not show any mercy. Immediately, his body moved before the martial soul completely collapsed and rapidly withdrew. Bang! However, just as Lin Langian's was backing away, Lindong smiled sinisterly. Another fist was thrown forward which directly blasted away the black figure. Moreover, the remaining fist force swept out, catching up to Lin Langian at lightning speed before ferociously slamming onto the latter's body. The force invaded Lin Langian's body, causing him to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood as his body miserably landed on the battle stage. A 10-foot mark was drawn out on the ground. Lin Langian crawled up in a miserable manner immediately after stabilizing his body. Before he could even utter a word, a terrifying force arrived once again. A whip-like leg that contained a frightening force was ruthlessly thrown at Lin Langian's shoulder like a warhammer. Crack! Half of Lin Langian's body instantly caved in. His entire person laid paralyzed on the ground. Just as he was about to struggle madly, an enormous dragon claw had already whizzed downwards and firmly grabbed his throat. Lin Langian struggled to raise his head, only to see the dragon scales begin to withdraw on Lindong's face. Currently, the face of the latter was filled with a thick killing intent. I admit, Lin Langian struggled, his face completely red. There is no victory or defeat here. Only life and death. Lindong stared at Lin Langian. The ferociousness on his face gradually faded bit by bit as he softly laughed. He knew that if he allowed Lin Langian to escape now, the strength that he had displayed would definitely catch the eye of the super sects. Once he entered a super sect, Lin Langian would pose a great threat towards him and the Lin family in the Great Yang Empire's Yang City. Lindong would obviously not allow this kind of thing to happen. Lin Langian's eyes were bright red. A golden glow was faintly surging deep within his eyes. I am aware of the Yuan spirit within your body. Lindong stared at Lin Langian and smiled faintly. The coldness in his eyes could not be hidden. Relax, I will not allow either of you to escape. Lin Langian felt a chill rush across his entire body when he saw the smile on Lindong's face. Everyone on the top of the mountain watched this scene where the victory had already been decided. They immediately sighed in relief, appearing to have been relieved of a great burden. Extremely shocked expressions were present in their eyes. That battle earlier had clearly been an eye-opener for them. The extremely wild and violent strength of Lindong was sufficient to cause the numerous 5 Yuan Nirvana stage experts to feel a chill. What a powerful physical body! The expert from the great desolate palace in the sky stared at Lindong with somewhat bright eyes. Their sect specialized in the training of physical body and their strength was overpowering. Lindong's explosive burst of power earlier had clearly caused even him to be surprised. Liu Tong watched this scene indifferently. He could tell that Lindong was about to deliver a killing blow. Immediately, he hesitated for a moment and was preparing to say something. Although Lin Langian had been defeated, he was rather remarkable. Moreover, there seemed to be some mysteries hidden within his body. If he was recruited into their Yuan gate, he would be considered as someone worth grooming. As long as no one has admitted defeated, the battle will continue until one side dies. Currently, none of them has verbally admitted defeat. What are you so anxious about, Liu Tong? However, just as Liu Tong was about to speak, the old man from the Dao sect faintly smiled and said, "Isn't the victor already obvious?" Liu Tong frowned and asked, "Did anyone admit defeat?" The old man from the Dao sect replied in a casual manner. Liu Tong looked deeply at this old man from the Dao sect and said no more. He could vaguely tell that this old man from the Dao sect seemed to be helping that fellow called Lindong. Lindong's eyes were indifferent as he watched the wildly struggling Lin Langian on the battle stage. However, he slowly bent his body down as his hand gently pressed the top of the Lin Langian's head. "Lin Langian, it's over. Bring that Yuan spirit within that body of yours to hell with you." Vigorous Yuan power undulations gathered wildly in Lindong's palm, while a terrified expression surged up on Lin Langian's face. At this moment, he could feel death itself. "Lindong, don't kill me. This is the grudge between you and Lin Langian. It has nothing to do with me. As long as you are willing to let me off, I am willing to follow you and obey your orders." A panicked voice was suddenly emitted from Lin Langian's body while Lindong was urged out his Yuan power. It was from the mysterious Yuan spirit. Lindong's eyes were indifferent. He merely laughed softly and slowly shook his head. "Goodbye, Lin Langian. Our grudge ends here." Lindong stared at the terrified Lin Langian. Without hesitation, a force from his palm suddenly burst out before Lin Langian's despairing and crazy eyes. Crack! The sound of bones breaking resounded in a deafening manner. A clear sound was stealthily echoed from the battle stage as Lin Langian's wildly struggling body slowly stiffened at this moment. A ferocious yet terrified expression still remained on Lin Langian's face. The combination of these two emotions appeared exceptionally frightening. Lindong's hand grabbed firmly onto the top of Lin Langian's head. His head had already cracked open. Fresh blood along with his brains flowed out, causing him to appear extremely bloody. Lindong's expression was indifferent as he gazed at Lin Langian, who tenaciously stared back while the life force swiftly disappeared from his eyes. Lindong slowly relaxed his hand and wiped off the blood on his clothes. Lin Langian was dead. As he watched the life force swiftly disappear from this body, Lindong knew that his grudge with this fellow, who had pestered him like a ghost for many years, had finally ended. "Father, your son has avenged you." Lindong raised his head and inhaled deeply. How many years had he waited for this day? This was the day that the young man, who had endured exhausting and bitter training, was looking forward to, right? However, the current him was no longer that weak youth from back then. His view of the world had now far surpassed the limits of a single Qingyang town or the Great Yang Empire. "Father, Mother, the both of you can live peacefully in the Great Yang Empire. I will not allow anything to disturb the both of you." Lindong smiled slightly. His smile was warm and no longer possessed the ferocity from earlier. He lowered his head and looked at Lin Langian's ice-cold corpse before he spoke. "On account of us being from the same clan, I will get someone to bring you back to the Great Yang Empire. Before this, however, I shall finish off that ghastly thing within your body." The corners of Lindong's lips curled slightly. His hand gently pressed against Lin Langian's forehead. Immediately, a black vortex vaguely appeared on his palm. A wave of devouring power suddenly invaded into Lin Langian's body. Although the attack earlier had truly killed Lin Langian, Lindong did not forget that there was a mysterious Yuan spirit inside the former's body. Lin Langian might have died from the earlier attack, but the Yuan spirit would not be completely wiped out. However, given Lindong's character, he would clearly not leave a potential trouble like this around. Devouring power surged into Lin Langian's body. Immediately, it scattered and searched for the broken Yuan spirit hidden within. Trying to hide. The search continued for a moment only to end up being futile. However, Lindong did not give up. He merely sneered and continued to increase his search efforts. After searching meticulously for several minutes, Lindong discovered a ripple near Lin Langian's heart. A thought immediately passed through his mind as devouring power immediately formed into a net that sealed the entire region. "Lindong, we have no grudge between us. You have already killed Lin Langian, why do you need to hunt me down?" At this moment, the Yuan spirit had clearly discovered Lindong's seal. The former immediately roared out furiously. "Sorry, I do not like to leave loose ends behind. You have helped Lin Langian all these years and have brought me a great deal of trouble. Therefore, I do not plan on letting you off." Lindong did not give the Yuan spirit any chance to argue. With a soft laugh, a thought passed through his mind as devouring power immediately whizzed out, transforming into a large net that on Lin Langian's chest, before wrapping around a flickering golden light. Through the feedback of information from the devouring power, Lindong could see a blurry figure present within that golden light. "Is this that Yuan spirit?" Lindong lifted his eyebrows, feeling a little curious. A Yuan spirit was a mysterious existence that only existed after one had experienced the seventh Nirvana stage tribulation. At that time, even if one's physical body was destroyed, one would have a chance of revival as long as one's Yuan spirit was not destroyed. That person would no longer be like others, where there would not be any chance of revival if one's physical body was destroyed. Moreover, it was rumored that when one reached that stage, one could even use the Yuan spirit and take another person's life from tens of thousands of kilometers away. It was incomparably miraculous. That kind of ability was far from what the current Lindong and the rest could imagine. The Yuan spirit was clearly unwilling to be captured after it had been wrapped by devouring power, and he immediately began to struggle wildly. However, he was just a mere Yuan spirit which had lost his physical body. Without any support, it was impossible for him to compete with Lindong. "Devour!" Lindong's eyes were indifferent. A thought passed through his mind as devouring power erupted. Immediately, the golden light of the Yuan spirit dimmed. He was gradually being swallowed by the devouring power. Isn't this devouring power? The devouring ancestral symbol? You actually possess the devouring ancestral symbol. The Yuan spirit immediately let out a sharp screech upon seeing this scene. His screech contained an incomparable shock. Clearly, he had discovered Lindong's secret. Your eyes are quite good. Lindong's eyes hardened. Soon after, he chuckled softly. Since this fellow had recognized that he possessed the devouring ancestral symbol, it was all the more reason not to let him off. Lindong, please don't kill me. I know many secrets. As long as you allow me to follow you, you will definitely gain many benefits. The Yuan spirit seemed to have sensed the killing intent of Lindong and hurriedly spoke. I already have a brother at my side who is over 10,000 times more trustworthy than you. I am afraid that I have no use for someone like you, Lindong spoke as he gently smiled, before his eyes quickly turned cold. Devouring power surged wildly and directly wrapped around the Yuan spirit. After which, he was completely swallowed amidst wave after wave of sharp cries. Lindong withdrew his hand from Lin Langian's forehead, while a ray of black light also quietly rushed into his fingertip. There seems to be something extra? Lindong observed the devouring power that surged back into his body. Suddenly, he discovered a cluster of golden light within it. The golden light contained the feeling of a Yuan spirit. However, it did not possess any will. It was clear that the consciousness of the Yuan spirit had already been completely removed by him. All that remained was a kind of Yuan spirit power. Lindong studied the ball of Yuan spirit golden light. For a moment, he was not sure what to do with it. After musing for a while, a wave of devouring power wrapped around it and was brought into his dantian. Although Lindong believed that the consciousness within this Yuan spirit had already been removed by him, the cautious Lindong would clearly not leave behind any hidden danger. When he was done, Lindong finally withdrew his mind. He patted his hands and with a wave of his sleeves, Lin Langian's corpse was kept into his Qianquan bag. After which, he lifted his head and looked around him. At this moment, he finally discovered that the entire place was silent. Numerous eyes contained fear and respect as they stared at him. Clearly, they were shaken by his viciousness. Lindong was too lazy to say anything when he saw this. These people did not understand the grudge between him and Lin Langian. He knew that if he was the one who was defeated this time around, his fate would likely be even worse than Lin Langian's. Lindong's eyes looked towards the old man from the Dao sect. After which, he smiled towards the latter. It was all thanks to this old man that he was able to finish off his greatest threat, Lin Langian. The old man from the Dao sect stroked his beard when he saw Lindong looking over. Lindong's actions did not cause any ill feelings. He was likewise no saint and was clearly aware of just how foolish it was to have a merciful heart towards one's opponent. Liu Tong looked deeply at Lindong, before waving his hand. A vast and powerful voice resounded, since the first round of battles has ended, there is no need for any unnecessary words. Let the second round begin. Lindong's eyes swept around him. The first round of the Nirvana Golden ranking battles had already ended. Little Flame and Little Martin had advanced as expected. The only thing that surprised Lindong was that even Suru had managed to pull through. However, from how she was gasping for breath, she had clearly experienced quite a fierce battle. Lindong's eyes shifted away from Suruo. After which, he looked at Qin Qian, who had been observing him. The latter's face no longer had the smile from earlier. Instead, there was a strange feeling in its place. His eyes caused Lindong to frown slightly. The opponents from the second round will still be decided by drawing lots like before. Liu Tong waved his hand as a light circle once again appeared, before exploding in the air. However, just as those lights were about to fall again, Lindong's pupil suddenly shrunk. He abruptly raised his head and looked towards an empty spot in the sky. An extremely strange energy had suddenly exploded at that spot. Ha ha, there is no longer a need for any battles. We have become a little impatient from waiting. An unusual black cloud seeped out from the emptiness, covering the sky as it spread. One could vaguely see some human figures within the black cloud. Who dares? The experts from the 8 super sects had a drastic change of expression at this moment. They abruptly stood up from their light chairs. Those expressions of theirs were stern as they watched the black cloud. There was also some commotion at the top of the mountain. Most people were shocked when they saw this scene. Clearly, they were uncertain as to just what had happened. However, some of the sharper ones could vaguely sense an ominous feeling. This formation. Lindong's expression slowly became grave. His eyes narrowed slightly as he watched the omnipresent black cloud in the sky, while he deeply exhaled. As expected, those fellows have made their move. The thick black fog emerged in the sky in an extremely strange manner. It spread apart and practically covered the entire place, an extremely shocking sight. The top of the mountain had become a little chaotic because of this scene, while alarmed and uncertain eyes continued to scan the sky. Lindong's brows were tightly knitted together as he watched the black fog that had spread across the sky. He could sense some extremely terrifying energy ripple from within the black cloud. His eyes gently flashed for a moment, before he swiftly rushed out from his battle stage and landed on the mountaintop below. When Lindong had landed on the mountaintop, Little Martin, Little Flame, Suru, and the rest also hurried over immediately. Even Liu Bai's group also quickly followed. Their faces were a little anxious. Clearly, they were shaken by this strange scene. Looks like those fellows have made a move. What should we do? Little Martin stared at the sky and softly inquired. Lindong nodded, musing for a while before he replied, "We will hold back first. We are currently unable to intervene in a battle of this level. There are still experts from the super sects present in the sky. Moreover, this realm is a territory shared by these super sects of the Eastern Shien region. It will not be easy to snatch this place away. If the disturbance is too great, it will definitely alarm the super sects in the Eastern Shien region. At that time, regardless of what the background these fellows have, it will likely be extremely difficult for them to mess around in the Eastern Shien region. Is Brother Lindong acquainted with these people?" Liu Bai and the others felt their hearts tremble upon hearing this. Clearly, they did not expect that there would actually be someone who wanted to snatch this ancient battlefield from the mouth of the super sects. "Yes, I once bumped into them unintentionally, was chased by them, and even exchanged blows with them a couple of times." Lindong nodded slightly. He clearly did not intend to hide anything at this moment. After all, the event had already happened. These words of Lindong might appear casual, but they caused Liu Bai's and Yang Sen's expression to change a little. From the way these people dared to provoke the super sects of the Eastern Shien region, one could tell that they definitely did not have ordinary backgrounds. Yet, Lindong was actually able to exchange blows with these people and live till now. His capability was not just a little shocking. Bang bang. The black cloud frantically spread out in the sky. A moment later, the sky-encompassing black cloud cracked open, as black light descended and over a dozen figures completely wrapped in black light slowly took shape in the sky. With the appearance of these figures, the Yuan power of the land started to boil. An indescribable and terrifying ripple spread out from their bodies. The powerful pressure directly caused everyone on the mountaintop to feel as though they could not move. Such frightening strength! When everyone on the mountaintop felt this pressure, shocked expressions instantly surged up their faces. Just the Yuan power pressure alone was already able to pressure them to such an extent. Just where did these monsters appear from? Humph! In the sky, the 8 super sect experts wore cold and stern expressions. A cold snort was emitted while a similarly incomparably majestic Yuan power ripple erupted and spread outwards, blocking the Yuan power pressure from the other party. "I was wondering who it was. Turns out that it's you people from the Western Shien region. You fellows are really quite bold. Not only have you snuck into our Eastern Shien region, but you actually dare to make a move." Liu Tong stared at the black-light human figures and laughed coldly. Evidently, he recognized them. "Ha ha, it is actually Deacon Liu Tong from Yuan Gate." The leader of the black-light human figures laughed loudly. The black light above his head scattered, revealing a smiling middle-aged face. Zhenzhong. Liu Tong frowned upon seeing this person, before he spoke again in an indifferent manner. Just what do you intend to do by interrupting my Eastern Shien region's 100 Empire War? Nothing much. Our Western Shien region is also quite interested in this ancient battlefield. You have occupied it for so many years, so now it should be our Western Shien region's turn. The middle-aged man known as Zhenzhong smiled. His voice was just like thunder that rolled and reverberated in the sky, as if it possessed a strange strength that could shake one's heart. As expected, you've not given up. This realm has already been placed in our Eastern Shien region. With just a few of you, you actually dare to try to snatch it away. Dream on. As long as I transmit this information, all of you can forget about escaping alive. Liu Tong coldly said. Since we have already acted, we will have naturally considered this point. Do you really believe that you can transmit information out of this space now? A strange smile surfaced on Zhenzhong's face as he spoke. Liu Tong's eyes immediately became chilly upon hearing this. He flicked his finger and a golden light appeared at his fingertip, before attempting to flee into the void. Yuan spirit transmission her. Zhenzhong laughed strangely upon seeing this. He crossed his arms over his chest and did not show any intention of blocking it. The golden light rushed out from Liu Tong's hand. However, before it could enter the void, a large circular black seal suddenly appeared within the void. Black light flickered as the golden light was catapulted back. Liu Tong and the other experts from the super sects immediately had a change in expression upon seeing this scene. The expert from the Great Desolate Palace immediately threw a fist forward. A terrifying power gathered under his fist, blasting the space until it became distorted. However, numerous black lines once again appeared in a strange manner when the space was distorted. It adhered onto the empty space like a spider web and easily blocked the punch. Ha ha, in order to take this ancient battlefield away this time, we have even brought that heaven-sealing array along with us. Relax, the disturbance in this place will definitely not be detected by your respective sects. Moreover, those old monsters from the Eastern Shien region will naturally be delayed by my Western Shien region, Zhenzhong beamed and said. Heaven's sealing array. Liu Tong and the old man from the Dao sect were startled when they heard this. Clearly, they were shaken by this name. To think that you have actually brought out even this pure Yuan treasure. Your Western Shien region has really invested heavily this time. The Dao sect old man frowned and commented. There's no choice. This ancient battlefield is a good place. There are countless number of inheritances within it. Asking us to give it up will not be so easy. Zhenzhong laughed. As long as we establish an array within this space, the elites from our Western Shien region will be able to directly send this realm to our Western Shien region. These people here are likely the geniuses that your super sects have selected after much difficulty, right? Ha ha, it's just as well. We'll bring all of them back as well. If they are willing to join us, they will be able to enjoy some rather good treatment. Of course, those who disobey will be relegated to be slaves. The words that Zhenzhong spoke as he smilingly glanced at the crowd on the mountaintop, caused their expressions to change drastically. To think that they are actually from the Western Shien region, Liu Bai's expression was dark and gloomy as he spoke through gritted teeth. Their empires were all located in the Eastern Shien region. If they were to be captured and sent to the Western region, they would lose all their pride. The faces of the geniuses from the various empires around Liu Bai were extremely ugly, and there was even some panic in their eyes. They were clearly aware of just how miserable their plight would be if they were to be brought to the Western Shien region. They would be no different from slaves. In the sky, the old man from the Dao sect frowned slightly. However, his face did not lose its color. After looking at Zhenzhong and the rest, he lowered his eyelids and said, "You have indeed prepared quite well. However, are you so confident of establishing an array right under our eyes? The 8 of us should not be people that can be so easily overlooked, no." Although these people from the Western Shien region appeared menacing, it was evident that the practitioners here had not reached an unstoppable level. It was likely that the other side did not dare to sneak in so many experts. Otherwise, it would be difficult for them to do things this stealthily. Ha ha, who dares to slight the man Wu Dao from Dao sect? Zhenzhong heartily laughed. His eyes paused on the old man from the Tao sect. There was fear deep within his eyes. This expression was something he never had even when facing Liu Tong of the Yuan gate. From the looks of it, Zhenzong truly did not dare to underestimate this old man from the Tao sect. It is indeed extremely troublesome to fight with you all. Therefore, we do not plan on doing so. All we need to do is temporarily trap you. Zhenzong waved his hand. The smile on his exceptionally sinister face was just like that of a black-faced fox, one that anyone would be irritated at. Trapping us? I'm afraid that you people do not possess that ability. Liu Tong sneered. I'm afraid that you will be wrong if you believe that. A strange expression was revealed on Zhenzong's face. He suddenly waved his hand before forming a series of seals at lightning speed. Heaven's sealing array, spatial seal. When Zhenzong cried out in a low voice, the dozen experts from the western Shien region also laughed in a strange manner while similarly changing their hand seals. Boom! Everyone's hand seals changed. The sky immediately started to shake as the void split open. Numerous strange black lights rushed out and transformed into an enormous ancient seal. The seal spread out like a prison, instantly sealing the Tao sect old man and the other 7 within it. Thump thump thump. Numerous shocking ripples erupted the instant the seal was formed. A terrifying attack ruthlessly poured down onto the ancient seal, shaking it till it trembled. Humph, although I am unable to kill you, trapping you with the help of the heaven sealing array is no trouble at all. Zhenzong sneered. Soon after, he waved his hand, activate the array and strengthen the seal. Yes, sir. The dozen experts from the western Shien region immediately responded upon hearing the order. Immediately, they used all their might to power the array, firmly trapping the Tao sect old man and the others. Cao Yu, Chang Wei, deploy the formation. We need to trap these fellows and we cannot be distracted for the time being. The matter of the formation will be handed over to your group. Zhenzong suddenly raised his head and cried coldly at the black cloud. Kill anyone who dares to stop you. Zhenzong's sinister gaze turned towards Lindong and the rest on the mountaintop when he uttered these words. Understood. A response was emitted from the black cloud. A shocking Yuan power fluctuation accompanied dozens of figures as they swiftly flew out from the black cloud. Lindong gazed at the dozen shockingly powerful figures. His eyes focused on a familiar figure in front. It was the Death Spirit General whom they had exchanged blows with not long ago. At this moment, all the competitors on the mountaintop had extremely grim expressions. This situation was truly not encouraging at all. This video will end here.